Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Monday night edition of Not Another Rangers podcast. It's only me, Scott, at the moment. Ricky, as you may know, is travelling back to his workplace in UAE. Is that so? He is not with us this evening, and we potentially have another guest who will hopefully come at some point later in the show. We will see. But as it stands just now, it's just the two of us. So I think Firstly, from everybody, Not Another Rangers podcast, and everybody associated with Rangers, I think we should offer an apology for the shocking, disgraceful season shown yesterday with Blackheart Cherney. I believe there's been lots of concerns raised when he ran down the park and splashed water over a number of Celtic fans who've probably been abusing the dugout for 90 minutes. I think that's a disgrace. Something needs to be done, and hopefully the authorities will tackle it as they should. So we'll get out of the way first. I do see that people are very concerned about it. So it was quite amusing for those that did see it and does watch it, and who's watching in slow motion. I think every Rangers fan has watched it in slow motion at least once today. Yesterday was a good day, Scott. In terms of, in fact, the last 10 days have been a good 10 days. We have reached the quarterfinals of the Europa League for the first time. For the first time since 2022, but probably I'm trying to think back. When did we last reach before that? Because we take it for granted. But when was the last time we were in a European quarterfinal? 2008, and then before that, 80s, maybe 70s. We probably get too blasé about how good a result that's been to get into the European quarterfinal again. So I think we had the Fenerbahce game, 120 minutes, and then we had yesterday. So just I suppose first before we get into the game yesterday, what would be a reflection of the last 10 days as a Rangers fan?
It's been great, Gary, because the season up to this point has been very up and down, probably more down than it has been up. And obviously, change of manager and circumstances have been great. I mean, we lost our cup final with out of the league title race, and not a lot has been beat with Queen's Park, was probably up with one of the worst victories in our history, isn't it? It was defeats, I should say, in our history. So it's not been going great. And then obviously when Barry came in with his staff, it was a bit of kind of like tongue-in-cheek for a lot of people thinking, this is going to be more laughs and giggles with Barry Ferguson and McGregor and McCann and Dodds, and everybody was expecting things to go further down, and it's not turned out that way. There's a lot of Rangers fans didn't expect a lot, to be fair. I didn't know what to expect for them, because obviously you look at previous records and stuff like that, and you look at what they've really been and what they've been doing recently. But you have to give them a chance. Like anybody that comes in as a manager, and to be honest with you, they've done far better than I thought they would do. And that's credit to them to getting these players turned around in a short space of time. So listen, the last 10 days has been phenomenal, and hopefully we can keep it up to the end of the season, because let's say there's not a lot left to play for in the league, but even a good run of wins in the league gets you set, because we've still got a game against that mob, and if we can beat them again, I mean, that'd be three victories in a row, and it could set you up nicely for next season. It could things slip into people's minds if they keep getting beat by you. Do you know what I mean? McLeish done it when he came through the door, Gerrard done it when he came in, and it seeps into their minds, because Rodgers has got away with murder recently in the last few years against us and other teams, and he's very complacent, Mr. Gucci belt. So I think it's just we have to start in their heads again. I think we're starting to do that, and just try to get as far as we can in Europe. Listen, Bilbao's going to be tough, we all know that, but it's nothing to say we can't go over there and get something, and we can't beat them at Ibrox, you know what I mean? Because you can never say never in football.
No, as you know, and I see the great showman's put there about Barry said in his press conference that he isn't going to be manager. I think he said in his press conference that when his contract ends in June, he's on his way to holiday, and that's all he's thinking about at this moment in time. I think what he's doing is he's showing that he's maybe got the credentials to lead our team. There's obviously, I suppose we forget. Like, I was watching Stephen Naismith, and we should play boom, we say his name. But I was watching him on Sports Scene last night, and he went in as an interim manager, got a job, and done relatively well. Stephen Gerrard came as a manager with no experience, so who's to say that if he wasn't to be successful over the next 2 months or so, and what that success looks like, there isn't a chance, but he's got to say the right things and say this.
It's obviously, I was at a game yesterday because I didn't have a ticket, but you watch it on at Sky, and Lennon's talking. You know what Neil Lennon's like? He's a hate if I get a lot of Rangers fans, but he's actually one of the best pundits on there. It's not Rangers. It's not with no connection to Rangers. He's actually quite sensible at times. And he came into Celtic as a caretaker. He was there twice, the manager wasn't he? But he came in as a caretaker. He won him a couple of trophies, done really well in Europe. So it's not to say it can't happen for Ferguson, but I agree with Barry what he says. I think he concentrates on just now until that contract was given finishes. And then he doesn't know what's going to happen. Listen, it could change from if he gets offered it in the future. Who knows? He might turn around and say, I'll take this. But he just has to concentrate on and focus on what's ahead of him. Don't look beyond that, because if you start looking beyond that, then he starts not doing what he's looking at now properly. So he's doing the right thing, because you can never say never in football, like I said.
And Scott, you're totally right. You know, Clement had lots of good results as well. The problem is he had lots of bad results and couldn't find the consistency, and that's why he's no longer in a job. And that was it. You know, nobody's saying Barry Ferguson's the new messiah. What we've seen is a certain, probably as much for the fans as it is for the players, they've giving you a bit of identity back that had been lost for a while, I think, as far as I can tell. I suppose, just before we talk about the game in general, sticking with Barry Ferguson, one of the things that it's probably impressed me or surprised me, I don't know what you say. I mean, he's obviously been ridiculed over the years about being not the sharpest tool in the shed. I suppose has been the way that people have described him. He's come across pretty well in terms of his interviews, in terms of the way he's communicated. He said a lot of the right things in terms of character, passion, but also showing a tactical awareness in each of the games.
I think he understands football very well. He understands the game inside and out. He understands the dressing room. He understands players. I think when you manage at a lower level, you see them with other football players became managers. See when they manage at a lower level, they struggle because they've got expectations that they made themselves and they've done themselves, but they're managing players who can never reach the expectations that they reached. So it's very difficult. But when you're managing at a level where there's guys in the dressing room almost saying as good as you, but you think could be or think can maybe be better than you, and they can do the stuff you're asking them to do, it's different. Do you know what I mean? So I think he's doing really well. I know Scott put in there, Clement beat Celtic, we know that, but Clement always got to get beat at Queen's Park. I know he drew with Spurs, but when Barry came into the job, it was a shit show, and he's not been long in the door, and it could have went worse. It could have went tits up, and he could have lost all these games. He could have been put out of Europe, but he's not done that, and he's only been in the door a short space of time. Clement was fighting a losing battle with them because he'd lost the dressing room. Barry's won it back, just with doing basic stuff and different things and showing him stuff, and not just him, but he's managing the boys he brought in. I think Neil McCann does a lot. You see Billy Dawes does a lot as well, and there's a couple other people on the bench as well. So I think as a whole, they've kind of got the players back focused. The mentality kind of changed, but it's the flexibility he's given them. He's not sticking to a rigid formation. He's picking formations that helps us. You see it yourself. He brought in Conor Barron back, who has been tremendous, who's been out for a while. But that's helped Raskin. But it's also helped Diamante, because Dio's not having to put so much demand on defending. He's more demands on the forward play, which is helping Rangers. I know any players can get any manager the sack. It includes Barry Ferguson, Alec Ferguson, Jose Mourinho. Players get managers sacked. Players can do that any club in the world, not just Rangers. But he can only work with what he's got. And if you get your players on side, you can see what happens. The same with Rodgers. Listen, see if Celtic can win the treble, but see if they come to Ibrox at the end of April, beginning of May, whenever the next game is, because it's after the split, and he loses, there'll be Celtic fans not happy. He's lost 2 games in a row, yes. Yeah. And that will start nibbling into their heads and mindsets, because it doesn't matter them winning the trophies, but getting beat 3 times was. Some fans don't like that, and they'll start to moan and groan about Brendan Rodgers as well, because that's what football fans are like.
No, definitely. I'm going to pick up this question just from Paul, because I'll forget it later on. So, how did Ridvan play? I suppose for me, I think I said on the chat, Ridvan, I don't usually rate at times. I think, but what he does show is he's a trier. He's a small guy, but big in heart. I think a lot of time his effort and energy in the industry yesterday was the thing that stood out for me. I don't think his passing still, and always probably will be, a bit wayward. His positions were a wee bit sketchy at times, but his effort was certainly something. And all the games you watch him, you kind of get to like him because of the endeavour he puts in, I think, innit? It's just a shame he's not been able to stay fit, sorry.
In games against Celtic, he always plays well, guy. I don't know why, but he done well at Ibrox in the game, and then yesterday, back in his strongest position, probably left back. I mean, he kept Nicholas Kuhn quiet, who gets subbed at half time, and probably for the first 6 months of the season, Kuhn was on the road to be probably player of the season up here, because he's playing really well. So you have to give Ridvan credit. I know he's in and out, he's very inconsistent, he's had injury problems and stuff like that, but yesterday he was really, really good. And to keep somebody quiet like that at their home stadium when they're 13 points ahead in the league as well, do you know what I mean? So wasn't a lot of pressure on him because the league's basically won. So I'm happy with that. I don't think Jeff was playing that well, and whatever personal issues he's having, I hope it's not serious, and I hope he's back soon. But I think he needed a rest anyway, Jeff. And I think Red Vine coming in yesterday, I thought he was really, really good. I thought he was probably apart from one or two others, he could have been probably man of the match because he didn't really done anything wrong. He was pressing. His awareness was good defensively, but he was keeping the shape as well.
No, definitely, and you've kind of frozen on me, Scott, so I don't know if that's the case or else, but we'll see.
Oh, internet.
Back. We can hear you, but we can't see you. There you're back.
I know, his internet's poor, man.
So let's talk about the game then. So in terms of lineup, as you say, Jeff Day was out. It came back with the same 10. Other than that, after playing 120 minutes, and as much as anything else, the emotional kind of draining of Thursday night with the penalties and all the stuff with it, were you surprised that he stuck with the same, as much of the same players as he could?
Not really, because I think, there's an international break coming up and the adrenaline was going to take him through this game. I think it was maybe somebody else, like somebody Aberdeen, Hearts, United, they might have changed it. But I think in an Old Firm game, or as other people call it, a faster the Glasgow Derby. You don't know what side of the fence you sit on. The Glasgow Derby's nonsense, isn't it? It's like Partick Thistle against Clyde. It's no Rangers against Celtic, but I just think that he done well to keep the same players. He's obviously mindset in them saying, go out and give me another 90 minutes or give me what you've got for 75 minutes or like Cherny or Balogun, because they're going to play off that adrenaline. They're going to play off that because, and he's probably said to them, will you give me? And they've all turned on. If there's anybody who wasn't up for the game or who was at a risk, he probably wouldn't have played them. But the way we started yesterday, you could see they're all up for it.
So I suppose we don't know a lot about tactics. This is the wrong show if we talk tactics in great depth. But what did interest me is obviously the 5-3-2 or a variation of that, but it was a different style. I mean, it might be the same formation if you in Football Manager, but your Tav was on the right as opposed to Sterling, and he's pushed up very high. Red Van was pushed up very high, and also Diamande was kind of playing behind the front two of Cherny and Dessers. So it was quite interesting that although they stick to the same personnel, the shape was vastly different.
Yeah, I think it had to be more discipline because obviously you're going away from home. You're playing Celtic who can break on you really quick. They've got two wingers who can just stay touchline, don't they? They make the park big, so you kind of have to be more aware. I mean, we had to be pressed at certain times, but we pressed in the first half in 3s and 4s. In the second half, I thought we were probably pressing in 1s and 2s. It wasn't the same, but they were always going to get back into the side. But the shape was really good. But that's the thing. Barry worked out how to focus, and not just Barry, but the staff in general worked out what Celtic were going to do. And we counteracted that very, very well. Listen, it doesn't work every game. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here, and I know people are saying about Aberdeen, Dundee United. I'm only going to talk about Celtic game. I've criticised Rangers a lot this season, probably more than I want to. But on yesterday's match, the first half, everything was spot on. The second half, it wasn't so good, but I thought the first half, it was spot on. Listen, so I said to you before we come on, Celtic had a lot of possession.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was passing back away, pass between the centre-backs and the keeper. None of it was really breaking our lines because we were really good discipline. We had a good shape. Our structure was really good. And we made it difficult for them. Celtic had to work yesterday, and they were struggling at times to work us out because they weren't getting to play a fluent football or breaking the lines or putting the ball straight at my head. And you seen that at half time and the changes they made. So we done real well in that first half. And we were happy to sit in, Gary, because we knew we could hit them, punish one in the break, whereas on Thursday night, Mourinho worked that one out very quickly. When he put you on Cherny, I snuffed them out. But Rodgers wasn't clever enough to do that, so we knew we could get at them. And we deal pressing as well with Dessers goes, Cherny goes and deal. We hit them on the break quite a few times. We probably should have scored more than 2 goals in the first half.
Yeah. Well, definitely, I think it was definitely tactically clever the way it was played. I mean, obviously, as I said earlier, the 120 minutes, I think great credit, and we'll just touch on this briefly, is that Sterling, might forget, Suter, Balogun, Redvan and Barron have all just went to the team in the last 10 days after being out for a considerable period, I think, haven't they? And they've all kind of, and I think to play that intensity of those 3 games, irrespective of how well you thought any of them played at any point, that takes a good deal of credit for what they've actually managed to go through.
Listen, it was difficult because leaving when we were 2-0 up, and nearly going in the second half, get sent back in. Listen, we done it at Ibrox last season. They were 2-0 up. We get 2 goals very quickly in the second half. Eventually, the game finished 3. So, you know yourself, 2-0 up, the game's never over. You always need that third one that came in the cup. You never got it. They scored early on in the second half. So when they scored early on in the second half, the first thing is to say, you end up, you go maybe 3-4 years back, don't you? Kind of sit back to make sure you don't get another one. And it's easy to do, especially when you're maybe used to running empty. And I didn't think the players were at that point. I thought it was just a way we didn't want to lose another quick one in the second half. But
we'll come to that, Scott. We'll go into the game then. I think we'll talk about it as we go through the different points in the game. We'll probably pick up some of those things in it. So
sorry about this. My internet's poor tonight. It just keeps.
We can still hear you. You're freezing at times, but we can hear you fine. I think one of the things that just before I watched the pre-match interview with Tav just before the game started, and I think he kind of talked about being clinical in both boxes, isn't it? And I think maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of the Old Firm games I've seen, or Glasgow Derby, if you want to call it that, it's often been us maybe the first 20 minutes actually starting reasonably well, missing a couple of chances or missing a chance, and then next thing we know we're 2-0 down in half-time game. Whereas just yesterday what we've done is we scored the first goal. Do you know, that's often been the big difference, and the intent was there, and the intent's been there the last couple of games particularly. You know, that we attacked from the off, got the ball down, we at the corners, asking us a shot, and then just in 5 minutes there's a goal, great ball in for Tav. The Joe, as soon as he scored it, my daughter said the Joe Aribo goal. It was the one that sticks out in it. You know, I think somebody said in the chat, said it's the Joe Aribo goal, the front post run, flick on. And if you see it, it's just probably the same as the one against Celtic at Ibrox. If he misses it, if the ball doesn't go towards the goal, Dessers is running in the back post to try and get a touch on it. So it was really well played.
It was, and Raskin makes he runs quite a lot, and for a wee guy gets up very, very well, I have to say. And listen, Celtic knew that was coming because we were at Ibrox. That's what I mean about Brendan Rodgers. He's that gullible and he's that confident in himself, not so much his players. He thinks people shouldn't score goals against him. But the run was there. He made the run, he got well above the Celtic defender. And he just got enough on it to glance into the corner. Any more on it, he might have been over, or it might have been to someone else, but he got enough on it. But he made the run, but the ball was terrific into the corner. Was a great corner because they only put it in an area where Raskin was going to be. If you put a ball into a certain area and your player makes it in, that's what can happen. And it was a really good header and a really good work corner. It's something we should do more because we struggle with set pieces this season, Gary, you know. Yeah. But it's good to see things like this because the way we've done it, as in I know Scotty Allen has mentioned it on Sports Centre. Billy Dawes likes that way. But if you watch it back, we've got 3 big guys on there, 3 big guys, and then you've got a couple outside the box. So Celtic won on who to pick up, and it's like I don't know who was on this. I can't remember now, but whoever I think was it Stewart. I can't remember who was on it. So I think he was on him. So, but you probably think he's small, he's not going to win a header, but it's just his time in the running, time in the jump got him. Because you're no bag doesn't mean you can't jump. He gets up really, really well, and he gets a good connection. And what is it with Kasper Schmeichel every time the ball goes by him? It goes like this. It's like you think he's going to go by the post, and he just goes like that. Don't look stupid. Just put your hands there, you know where to get it. But why does he always think that's going by the post and it goes in the back of the net?
That's to show making an effort. So I think probably next bit after that, one of the things that stood out, although maybe not creating a lot of chances at that point in time, was how aggressive we were. We were aggressive in the press. Yilmaz would jump up, Tav would jump up, Igamane would push. And Dessers, for all his faults, and didn't have a great game, his work rate was pretty strong during it, as was Czerny. So we were constantly in that first 20 minutes especially, probably pushing them back every time we got the ball.
What Dessers done better yesterday than he did previously, he didn't get into a fight with Carter Vickers, as in physically. He kept away from him, but he kept moving. Whereas previously, before he's tried to get involved in him and Carter Vickers is stronger than Dessers is rolling about, as you've seen before, more in the groaning. He didn't really do that yesterday. He was moving. Yeah, he maybe not been great, but he was moving and he was annoying him. So he was moving Carter Vickers about, and obviously I thought Celtic's other centre back was better. Can't remember his name, Naroski or something. I thought he put in a couple of blocks, but by all accounts, Celtic fans don't really rate him. So, but no, we kept them moving. Don't have to be physical as long as you keep players moving and keep them thinking. It can be difficult because Carter Vickers is very good in there, isn't he? I mean, but he's not the best defender on the ground, and a lot of the balls go through him because McGregor wasn't there, and there's not really getting anybody else that can pinpoint passes. I know Engels was trying, but he's too slow and he's always back away. But Carter has a lot of the ball at his feet, and that's not his game. And I think see when that happens, you're happy with that because he's only going to go side to side or back away. He's not going to go diagonals like Golson used to do or stuff like that because he's not got that in his locker.
It's not his game. So I suppose the next bit's Czerny had a couple of efforts to go with. In fact, we have a couple of nice bits to play when we maybe should have done better. Obviously, Czerny, that's one over the bar, which wasn't even on in highlights when I watched them last night. And then he gets the ball for Schmeichel, and for some reason, unbeknown to MD, he runs down a cul-de-sac rather than hitting the ball. At some point, that was a great opportunity. And at that point, I'm starting to be a little bit worried that the game's going to turn.
See, as soon as he took the first touch, hit it. But I don't know if it's because it was on his right foot. But even just go for it. If you miss, you miss. By the time it takes into the box, you've recovered and they've got 3 or 4 defenders back. It's only Dessers in. But just as soon as it hits you, just hit it straight away. Listen, you might miss, but at least you've went for it. That's what annoyed me. It wasn't so much what they'd done after that. I just had to go for it because it was an opportunity you weren't expecting. And it came. If it was on his other foot, I took the chance, no problem. But I think because it was on his right foot.
He probably timed it, put it on his left foot. I don't really know what maybe
it came his left foot and it went on his right foot, didn't he? So
I don't really know where it went. So by that point, obviously, that's always a slight worry when you've not been clinical enough. Butland's made a great save for a shot from Matati by that point, I think, if I remember rightly, timing.
He did. Yeah, I thought Matati went for that corner, but he went for the top left or Butland's top right, and it was a good save by Butland. But it was a save he should be making, Gary. It's one of the saves goalkeepers like because a picture shot into it. But Matati usually goes other way. He usually whips it that way, doesn't he? But he whipped it that way, and Butland knew where it was going.
So we get 37 minutes, I think it is. So, and this is a really good goal. I just want to kind of talk through this a wee bit. So, again, we've got if I remember rightly, and you'll see the highlights probably more than I have today because I'm busy. But we've got the ball at the left-hand side, pass it into Suter. Suter's ball's really good because he plays it crisp and fast out to Tav, who then
Raskin plays it to Stuart, didn't he? Because Raskin's get here. I think it was Ridvan and was it Barron?
The ball was at the left. They played it and they kept taking it there, then moved it across. So moved it quickly. Which was again a tactical thing. I think not that was to move the ball side to side quickly when they had the chance. So really good ball for Suter to Tav. Great run for Raskin. I think I can't remember I watched or listening to one of the pod. Some basically said Sterling or most of our other players wouldn't be able to play that ball over the top to Raskin. Probably don't have the ability to do it. Really good header for Raskin. I watched Dio's interview saying he shouted him to flick it, so there was some communication there, and a great touch and a finish with Igamane from his right foot as opposed to his left foot. Really, really good goal.
That was a great goal, Gary, a great team goal, and it's a goal you like to see because the players are actually thinking about stuff and they're actually trying things off, and it's a goal it's very difficult to defend because Raskin's run, he bends it in by the defender, he gets it in, and instead of just trying to bring it down, which a lot of players might have, obviously Dio made the shout, but he flicks it, but he gets enough on it to go over the defender, and Dio just touches it and then hits it. Listen, it was a good finish because in that touch he takes, he's going to get tackled or blocked, so really good goal, but it shows you there's between the two of them, they're improving game by game. Like I said earlier, Dio's better up further forward because he can make more efforts from the goal, he can get assists, but he influences the game up that side, and Raskin's getting more influence in the centre of the park. Yeah, both can improve on different things and passing and stuff like that, physicality maybe on Dio's side, but I thought the two of them are getting a better partnership, again a better understanding between the two of them. You can see that, and they're always smiling with each other and they're always having a laugh and a joke, which is good to see because if that came into off the park, they're going to have it on the park, and that was a great goal, fantastic goal, and it's good to see when you go score a goal like that because you don't mind scoring goals, any goal's a great goal, but just watching that yesterday, it was a really well worked goal, and it's good that these things are good to watch and good to see, because some people say we're not a good side, and at times we aren't a good side, don't get me wrong, but yesterday the goals like that, it shows you we've got it in our locker to do things.
Aye, but we all know we're a better team playing into space and using the skill of journeying guys like that. That's our game in some ways, but we can't play football. There's no doubt in that. And what was probably good about that goal as well, Czerny and Dessers were nowhere to be seen. They kind of pulled away to other sides, I think, and left the two central midfielders running through. That's really, we wouldn't have seen that probably earlier on the season because the way the style we're playing, people were all sitting back at different points.
I feel Dessers has improved. I mean, I criticised him earlier on. I thought he just stands and hides behind, but his movement's getting better. Listen, we've all been critical of Dessers, and certain different things, but I think his movement's getting better. He's running off the ball more, whereas a lot of time before he was standing still making stuff, but he's moving, and you see he moved. So the defender has to go with him. Generally moves, the defender has to go, and that's where the gaps open up, and that's where midfielders can go into, and that's what happened, and that's how we scored a goal. Listen, if that was a Celtic that scored that goal, they've been shown it at Sports about 45 times last night, but it wasn't Celtic, it was us.
That's happening in sports team. That was just bizarre. They were showing, as I said to you earlier on for the programme, they were showing the offsides of Celtic as opposed to the shot for churning, things like that. That was slightly bizarre. So, last 5 minutes of the first half comes. I don't know about you, I'm sitting there thinking, just let's get half time. I'm feeling nervous. They're going to pull one back before half time and make it difficult. Sterling is a phenomenal clearance, and it's worth just picking up on just how good that clearance was. I mean, he's nowhere near fit. You can potentially see that he's still working his way back in, but that was outstanding. A certain goal saved.
Just his awareness into it. He knows my header's going on the head. My header does a good movement. He does good movement off his shooter. He is that one who gets up really well. He wins a header, and Butler's not getting to it. He's not getting to it, but Sterling's aware of where it's going, and that was a great clearance because a lot of other players are maybe even Sterling at times can put that in your back of your net or done something else, but to get it away like that, fantastic. And I think Scott Arfield said it in commentary. That's worth a goal. It's the same as a goal. That's how good a clearance it was.
So half time comes, I don't know about you, I'm sitting watching my daughter, like, right, good, this is surely we're not going to, we just need to keep playing the way we are, but how much have we got, how long have we got in the tank, so forth. The Celtic come out, as you say, Kuhn's been removed because he's been struggling against, and he does come on. Funnily enough, I don't think he did done enough a lot, although he obviously made a difference to him. I don't think he was involved in the game very much, but just his presence maybe.
He occupies a defender because his size and his height, so proper kind of had to match proper and sort of more occupied with him because Maeda kind of, he likes to come deep at times, whereas Ida doesn't. He just sits around about the penalty area, doesn't he? So he's just taking the defender away.
Aye. And so sadly, within about 3 minutes of the second half starting, we lose a goal. This is one of the ones I've watched a few times now, and Jota, you can look at this. You can look at it from a Rangers point of view and say bad defending. So Jota gets crossed in too easy, and Maeda jumps at half. Or you can watch it from a Celtic point of view and argue that Jota is a brilliant crossing, and Maeda's quite clever actually. I've watched it. He goes forward, then goes back a couple of yards, so he then get a run and jump on top, and end of a run and jump's going to beat another guy 9 times out of 10. So both things can be true. It's bad defending from our point of view, but also probably to give him the due, it was actually well done. One of the positives.
I agree. I said that, yeah. Certainly, I said Maeda's done really well. He doesn't stand still, he moves, so he's got to run and jump on 2 defenders coming back away. Listen, every goal scored, the defence or the supporters of that team will blame the defenders or blame how they defend, and the opposition will play it, say it's a great goal because how they play. But I have to say, it was a good ball for Jota because Redband did close him down, but he got it up to the back post really high, and he's given a ball that a striker loves to go for. Do you know what I mean? I think it was a decent ball, and Maeda, like I said earlier on, he's very good in there, and it was always going to be difficult to challenge because we had 2 players there, but none of the 2 of them got up because you see he moved, and just that wee yard he moves, he gets himself, it gives him the spring to get up, and as soon as he headers it, it was always going to be a goal because he's that close to the goal. Butland's not going to have a chance of saving that.
So how are we feeling then? And it's 48 minutes in the clock, Scott. How's your nerves went at that point? Is it then think this is going to go horribly wrong?
Listen, I always knew we were going to come back into it, and like for no reason. Do you know that way? And if you're thinking any different, then it wasn't me. I'm thinking to myself, so they're going to come back into this. I mean, if it was Rangers 2-0 down, I'd want us to come back and get an early goal in the second half just so we can see what happens. And they done that to us. And as soon as you get the first goal, you feel a change in the stadium. You feel a change as in the player-wise. We get a bit more deeper. They've got a wee bit more energy because they've got a goal back. It's early on, so they know they've got another 40-odd minutes to try and get another one. And it's football, Gary. It's the way it goes. I mean, Barry Ferguson probably said to the boys going out at half-time, last was going to dress room to come back for the second half. Don't concede early. And Rodgers has probably said the opposite, try and get an early one. And it's worked for them. And it's... Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I'm just going to pick up a couple of quick questions that are in there. So, John, Jeff didn't play because of personal reasons, Barry Ferguson said before the game. Sounded like he's maybe a couple of weeks, he may be out for whatever it is. And so we wish him and his family or whatever.
I'd probably blame more than Hadji. Because I thought Hadji... No, say after second goal, the second goal, not the first goal, second goal. I think the first Celtic goal was just
it's generally
They
a
worked,
decent.
they worked, they worked out to the wing. They should have maybe stopped it maybe more centrally, but they worked out to the wing. And Jota never done a lot, to be fair, whole game, but he put in that decent ball.
I've watched. I mean, I've heard a few times a lot of talk about Butland's kicking, which is poor. But the ball.
That was a poor, but Butland's not been the greatest at kicking. He only got assist later on. He's not been the greatest at kicking when the balls on the ground. Different when the ball's in his hand, but not when the ball's on the ground.
So I suppose Balogun goes off after 55 minutes. He's done well at the last 120 minutes plus 55. That was impressive, but he's done in, and on comes Proper. Do you know? I was trying to think of chances right then. I missed some. So the only two chances I could think probably from 48 minutes to 72. So that 25-minute period when Celtic get the second goal with a shot by the post from McCowan, a shot by the post by Atati. It's one of those games you're sitting living in your nerves, but I don't actually know if there was as much happened as actually you're thinking at the time, unless I'm missing lots of other opportunities.
Listen, I said earlier, Celtic had a lot of possession, but they didn't have a lot of clear-cut chances. They had chances you'd expect them to have, but if you look, I'm not a big stats man, but you look at his stats, I think we just did about roughly the same attempts as they had. Do you know what I mean? But the possession-wise, I think it was 70, 28 or something like that. So it wasn't. But possession doesn't win you games, does it? It looks good in games.
And again, if you watch a lot of games back the next day and things like that, and I presume if it was one of the ones, if you watch it today, it'd probably be a lot less nervy in that 25-minute spell than it probably felt at the time. But we do lose a second goal, and again, it's one of those ones. There's lots of wee errors in it. I think that you've seen all the tactical stuff. Hadji jumps out, Proper's a couple of yards too wide at one side, Suter's a couple of yards too narrow at the other side because
I thought Suter should have been more over because.
Should have passed on either to Sterling. He stays with him and actually passed him on.
Yeah, goes over, can get a block in. Barron tries to match him, but the boys obviously a bit quicker and he can't catch him, but because he moves fast. But it's a good ball, but Hadji makes that happen because he leaves that big space for moving over. He gets attracted to the ball, doesn't he?
Aye. And Barron obviously just that split second doesn't he stick with him, and so it's about 3 or 4 different people make slight mistakes. None of them make a major mistake. And all that at least that opportunity for.
It's just that Hadji moving and creates that space, then Barron doesn't match his run. But if Shooter's over a bit, you can get a block in more than Barron can. And obviously, it's a good finish. I have to say, it's a good finish for that.
Aye, and as you say, I think one of the things is that they're worrying about Ida a wee bit for his physical presence. So Shooter probably stays with him and should actually move away from him and let Sterling take him. So it's 2 each, 20 minutes left. You're expecting the huge onslaught. From Celtic, it probably doesn't come. It probably doesn't come if I look back at it now. We start to get stronger again. I'm about remembering when ourselves where I think around about 81 minutes, you've got Igamane, Lawrence. That's kind of the other one, wasn't it? Off the top of my head. Make 3 subs. Igamane, Lawrence, and who's the other one? Oh, who was it?
Lawrence, Igamane, and Salah.
Yeah, they 3 come on, and obviously Cherny goes off. He's completely done in by this point. There's nothing left in the tank. But we have had a few chances. So again, the one that Cherny runs through, plays it to Dessers. Dessers gets caught in 2 minds and does nothing. And then where he should probably go right and smack it hard. Ball comes out again. Cherny plays it into Barron. Barron's a pretty poor finish. That's a really good opportunity around about the 80-minute mark or so, I think.
Yeah, Dessers tries to go by and get McCowan. He tries to go by him, but he just doesn't. Tries to go to the left and he didn't do it properly. But Barron, you can see why he plays defensive positions, don't you? I mean, Schmeichel left a lot of space at his right hand side, but he tried to go to the left. Well, he tried to go to Schmeichel's left, and he just miskicked altogether. But it was good. It was a good movement, especially at that time of the game, getting in the box because he ran a lot of distance. But it's good to see him getting up there. But his finishing was pretty poor.
But if I remember rightly, I don't remember much in the way of chances being created by Celtic. The only one I vaguely remember was the shot from outside the box. That was a pretty straightforward save. I don't remember a lot happening. It seemed to be the game seemed to be a bit.
It was in front of our back line. It wasn't really, they weren't breaking lines, they weren't getting in between. There were a lot of, I said, it was passing sideways with Celtic. And I know, let's say, Mr. Gucci's big on possession football, but that wasn't great, and that's them at home. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't at 2 each. I still wasn't. I thought we were going to. I didn't think we were going to beat. I still thought we looked quite comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
So there's 88 minutes on the clock. Scott, talk us through Igamane's goal in. So what? I don't know if it's Butland's first assist of his career.
He managed to kick it that far for a change because it's in his hands and on the ground. But listen, I don't know what Carter Vickers doing. I don't know if he's got his eyes on Dessers or.
The two of them are miles away. They're not even close to it. I don't know what they're doing.
Misjudges it, and Alistair Johnson does a Brian O'Neill, doesn't he? Slips in his arse and struggles to get by. I know you know Brian O'Neill, he comes for your neck, Evans. And listen, Igamane does really well. I know people say you get a break, you get up. You can look at it that way, but I think he knows what he's doing. He was strong enough to get a ball by Alistair Johnson. Johnson tries to nick it away, but he's not strong enough. As soon as it drops, he doesn't think, Igamane. He doesn't think, I'm going to take another touch here, I'm going to look for somebody. He just puts his foot through it. Do you know what I mean? It's fantastic finish, fantastic goal. And listen, I was jumping about 11, but I was told to be quiet because my granddaughter was upstairs sleeping because she was still awake when we scored the first goal and we all shouted and she was starting to go and started to cry, but she was upstairs by that time. I'm like jumped about and no me trying to make any noise. But what a finish by the lad. And listen, you can see that's why people have been like me. We know he's a rough diamond just now. I know people say he's 22. 22 is no old for a footballer. I know it's not that young, but it's no old either. And especially for where he's came from, Gary, this is his first time to join into European football, and what he's done this season for Rangers. I mean, for 2 or 3 months of the season, he was carrying that forward line himself, and then he went off the boil. But that happens to every player, not just him. But that goal, certainly. That was as somebody still not lacking any confidence, Gary. If he was lacking confidence when he took that shot, but he just leathered it. And Schmeichel was catching the way back out, wasn't he?
Do you know what's good about him, not just yesterday's game, but the power he generates in a strike, he does generate some power, and he's done that since he started the season. He does hit a hard shot more than a lot of other people. I suppose just going back to Igamane then, we'll come back to this, because Ferguson was interviewed and asked about him lots after the game, and I think he was at great pains to say, he's got fantastic ability, but he needs to do more. There's a lot of the other parts of the game that he's lacking it, and that's why he's not been in the team recently. And we've probably seen it. We've all been at the games. We've all watched stuff. It's probably he's running about. He's maybe trying to do too much himself at times. Those things that he needs to be more of a team player. But that he's trying to do sometimes.
Yeah, I think you can see. I mean, sometimes he'll try and nutmeg and stuff where it's just a simple layoff, then running to get it again. But it's just stuff like that. He's going to learn. But they score a goal like that yesterday. It's phenomenal for the lad. To be playing in the Europa League is good. So his name's been out there, and that's why clubs are starting to take note, because a lot of these big clubs, they'll buy players who obviously hit their peak, and they'll spend loads of money on them, but they also like to buy guys with potential, and that's what Igamane's got at the moment. But you can see that potential improving. It will improve if he's got an attitude he wants to learn, which according to Barry Ferguson he has, and Raskin's another one. They'll get better and their value goes up. That can only be good for us, do you know what I mean? Because people talk about a player trading model, but there's 2 young guys this season, and Raskin's come on to his game now, but Igamane's, let's say, only came to the club in the summer. He was held back because of various issues, Clement said, and then the Quantity team done really well. Then he was dropped out, but like Barry Ferguson also said, he's gave him issues now, because I mean, if that was Dessers wouldn't have hit that shot, because it's no Dessers' game. Right. But that's Igamane, because he's rough. He's right around the edges, and as soon as it drops, he doesn't even think anything else. He just battles it, like I say. And Schmeichel's like again, isn't he? Big Casper, the friendly ghost. He's catching the way back. No, listen, you can watch that goal back as many times you like, and it just gets better and better and better. He had it as hard as David Cooper at the free kick against Jim Leighton against Aberdeen. That's how hard it was.
I think, we all know he's got potential. We all see the ability he's got and the technical stuff. I think I've actually thought it quite interesting the way Ferguson talked about him and Raskin and others about how they can get better. A lot of talk about they can be better. I can make them better. I can see that they're trying to improve. Probably, but also pointing out, not just saying it platitudes, but actually saying there's things I can make Nico Raskin a better player, or Igamane needs to do this. I think it's quite good for the players, because actually there's a belief in them, or it seems to be the way he's talking.
I think he just looked to see if players want to learn, if players want to take. And that's like players maybe taking extra coaching sessions, or maybe doing different things, or maybe staying behind, coming in early, stuff like that. And some players don't like that. But other players, listen, we all know when you come to teams like Rangers in Scotland, players coming from abroad. This is a stepping stone because I want to play in maybe Spain, Italy, English Premiership because one, that's where the money is, and two, they're bigger leagues. But when they come here, if they want to learn, it's good for us, but it's good for them.
So what about Cherny then? So obviously, Igamane scores, Cherny runs down the side of the pitch, spraying water. I mean, again, haven't seen it. You know, there's a woman's face that just turns around looking complete shock in the slow motion that cracks me up every time I see it. I think Celtic have put out a statement, or the Green Brigade, or somebody's put out a statement saying they've raised concerns about it, and the police are probing the incident as we speak.
Listen, no doubt he's going to get in for this because it's happened against them. Listen, I'll guarantee you my money, my mortgage. If you're a Rangers player, a Rangers manager, a Rangers staff member, and you're sitting in that dugout, you're getting a hell of abuse for 90 minutes of Celtic fans sitting there. I don't care what anybody says. They're giving you hundreds of abuse. So to spray a wee bit of water back and then actually get filmed on camera saying you're the victim because somebody sprayed you a bit of water. Listen, I know they can turn around and say, but it might have been something else in the bottle. They'll come out and say it could have been this, it could have been that, blah, blah, blah. But it's like football players are supposed to take hundreds of abuse. And then as soon as they do any wee thing back, fans, other people don't like it. They've mentioned that, listen, he probably shouldn't have done it, right? But it's a laugh. I've heard Alan McCoy this morning talk sport laughing about it. And he, Andy Townsend, can you stop talking about it? He says it's brilliant. But people forget as well, when Rangers scored the third goal and run up to celebrate their fans, hands were getting chucked at them. Bottles are getting flung in the park and everything. But how's that not mentioned? Is that no a dangerous thing? Is that no as dangerous as getting a wee bit of water sprayed in you? I don't know. But listen, like I say, probably the same at Ibrox when Celtic players are in the dugout, they'll probably get a bit of abuse with fans behind it. And that's fine. But if you're not willing to take a wee bit back for players, then don't give them abuse. It's like anything like, if you can get it, take it back.
It was a bit of a drama over nothing, seems to be. I haven't watched some of the stuff today. So,
that's when you know Celtic get beat, Gary, because every time they lose a match, there's always drama over it. If they win this, they come back to 3-2, it wouldn't have been mentioned. If they win 3-2, you wouldn't have mentioned it. But when every time they lose a match, something's an issue. It's just not them getting beat fair and square. It's always something. They're the only club in history that's never beat fair and square.
Don't disagree. So last 5 minutes, probably nothing happens. We actually managed the game pretty well. There's that last kick of the ball when Alistair Johnston gets the opportunity, which is, to be fair, it's a hard one to hit. The guy ball's come over and it just kind of bounces up. So it's not. I don't think it's a glorious chance. Maybe the way Chris Sutton thought it was, but it was certainly an opportunity, and that would have been a sad end to the game.
To be honest with you, you should have done better.
I should have done better, but I mean, wouldn't necessarily. I mean,
it goes with his wrong foot, but doesn't he?
It
goes with his.
It goes left foot.
That's mean. They were shouting for a penalty because Ida was trying to get a penalty in the box and nobody was touching him. Just diving about like Chris Sutton used to do when he played. So, but he should have done better. If that was what I did that, I'd have been not happy because he should have done better. Because like his edge is out our box and he blasts it down on the road. Do you know what I mean?
You certainly expect better, as you say. If that happens, if Dessers does that, the last kick of the ball, or whoever it is, or Tav, or right back, the heavy criticism.
I thought he was awful yesterday.
Johnson.
So much right up the media and everybody praising him and this and that. He's the best right back here. And I thought he was rotten.
I suppose that probably picks up. So talk about Johnson, talking about not getting bookings normally as usual, but the referee, I think the referee had nothing much to do really. So I mean, he was fine. There was no real issues, no contentious particular incidents. There's a few bookings for Rangers players. That dies in Maida, a bit like Johnson, gets umpteen fouls, never gets a booking against him. But in terms of incident pack, there wasn't anything really that MD could come back afterwards and say that was cheated, never defeated.
No, there wasn't anything. And listen, I've seen this morning they were saying there should have been a penalty, but I don't know where because I don't know what they're talking about. And somebody said the Lawrence's tackle on my head, that was a red card, but that's somebody else just looking for nonsense. Listen, like I said before, when Celtic get beat, everybody knows they get beat because they moan about everything, but when Celtic win, it's fine. Doesn't matter about the other team. And it's always been like that way, Gary. Always be that way because they can't take losing. Doesn't matter if they're 13 points ahead. I know which people have been telling me all day, but they still can't take getting beat.
I suppose just before we move on to a couple of other questions, obviously the Sky Sports interviews were quite amusing. I think they were. I was watching Nicholas Raskin and Tav, and I'm feeling it's blaring out in the background, or you've got the other ones. You know, it was And I've heard the argument of what they're doing celebrating because they're 13 points behind and all this stuff. And the other argument is you win a big game. That's what football's meant to be about. Enjoy it. And it was really quite amusing just watching that or listening to that in the background as the interviews were going on.
I know that's what I mean. We celebrate one and then you get that chucked in your face, but the league's over with 13 points. So they're going to win a treble on this, and that's probably true. But if you can't go there and celebrate when you're meant to be going there and getting hammered because everybody thinks you're going to get beat and you don't and you win the game, but why shouldn't you celebrate? Celebrate there and then when you come up the road the next day, you forget about it and you move on to the next game. But why should you not celebrate a win? Doesn't matter who it's against, celebrate a win. Because they do it. That's a problem with them. And they used to come to Ibrox and win quite a lot when we were rotten. That could be any of the last fucking 10 years we were rotten. Do you know what I mean? But they was stand out in that part for ages, like somebody mentioned, tying scarves to goalposts and stuff like that, and Scott Brown walking around giving everybody a bit of that and stuff like that. But that's fine because it's them. But when anybody does it to them, doesn't matter if it's us or if it's Hearts or somebody else, they don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it's not acceptable. And they end up putting they'll probably their victim cards, please call Digby Brown for help.
Aye. And to be fair, and it's a bit like, as you said earlier, we were talking earlier on before the show, is 9 in a row and all that stuff, we were winning at the time, it was an affront to get beat. What's going on here? We shouldn't be getting beat, and that's probably anything. Man City's probably saying this year, that way that once you've been so successful for a period of time, you don't really handle defeat very well, which is maybe
it's self-entitlement. Celtic fans, they expect to win. They don't expect to win. They think, no, they've got a God-given right to win everything because it's happened for a while, right? Don't get me wrong, it's happened for so long now because we've been awful and there's nobody else in Scottish football going to challenge them because we were going there get beat that often. We were starting to turn into Aberdeen, do you know what I mean? But obviously they've beaten the last few times. It could swing. But listen, remember Gary and McLeish came in. Martin Neal was winning quite a lot, when he constantly against us. And he suddenly changed it, just by doing slightly different stuff against them, maybe what probably worst players Navigator had. And Gerrard came in and done the same because they don't like losing. They don't, and that's what I mean. If they win the league when they know they're going to win the league, they'll get a trophy probably in the season, but they could win it in the next 2 games or something. But even that, if they come to Ibrox and then they play May and they lose, that'll be in their minds. They could go and win a treble, but it'll be in their minds that, we've been beat 3 times with Rangers. That's not acceptable because they're consumed and they're obsessed with what we do, what we say, what everything. It's not like what they do, it's what we do. And I'm 52 and I can't get that. I can't get why you're so obsessed with a club because I don't really care what any other club does or watch the games and comment on it, but I don't really care. But they're more concerned about us. I mean, they've got podcasts about your takeover. I mean, it's actually absurd, man. Why would you be a fan of a club of a podcast about somebody else's takeover when you're supposed to, in your mind, hate that club? I can't get that. I can't farm these things out.
Yeah, Carrie's asked a question, CGM had one as well. So we do play them again in Ibrox in a couple of weeks, and we potentially, if you win that game, you've took 9 out of 12 points against Celtic, and we're still going to finish miles behind the league. Do you know, that's not been the issue, do you know, and that's potentially not the issue. But I think, as Carrie says, have we waited far too long to actually make that change? We'll never know, to be honest, in some ways, will we?
We've only, but we did. We all knew we did. We waited far too long, but that's what happened with football, done it. We waited too long to change the manager. And listen, we all knew at the end the players had kind of stopped playing for them, didn't they? They were a lot of through the till one, and it's what happened. If that's what football players do, and I know a couple mentioned it before, they could do it to Barry Ferguson as well, and they could, but that's what players do. When they're not happy with a manager or they feel they're not getting anything for this guy or they're fed up listening to the same stuff for this guy, they just say, fuck you, I'm chucking this in. And they down tools, but they still go out and play, but they don't give as much as they should. And because in their minds, they're like, well, I'll go to another club or I'll still be here and he'll be away because he'll be sacked. It's a mentality of modern day football.
No. So I suppose the other bit that's got a lot of press today, a lot of media attention, would be Sterling's comments on his Insta post. Now, for those that don't know, Instagram is a social media platform whereby lots of people give their views. Players put their own comments after a game off, and then the fans of opposition dissect it and post it and spread it around. So obviously Sterling talked about winning at that shithole, I think was his words, or something to that effect. Probably not the wisest thing to be doing if you're a professional footballer, but it's been heavy attention on it all day.
Of course, Gary plays with Rangers. What do you expect? No, I mean, if played with anybody else, it would be water off a duck's back. I better not say water either. But no, listen, it's just he said it in just a moment. You don't know what's going through Paul's head. You know if you're getting a bit. I mean, see the abuse you were getting walking in the stadium. I mean, there's actually Celtic fans up there back at 10 in the morning. Video Rangers fans going into the stadium. There's Celtic fans up there for the Rangers bus coming in to shout abuse at the players coming off a bus. I mean, in your own mind, that's actually something to sum up with you doing stuff like this. So you don't know what's the thing's been said to Sterling, or does he get posts on social media, does he get messages? And to say a wee bit of shithole, he's almost kind of saying what we all know. Not just our fans, the whole of Scottish football kind of say the same about Celtic Park, or Parkhead, whatever you want to call it. It is a shithole. It is compared to other stadiums where they put you when you're standing and stuff like that. It needs work done to it, so he's only saying what everybody else thinks.
Aye. It's a lot of nonsense, and all fans of all teams are double hypocrites basically, because they like dish out the abuse, and then there's a little bit of in the back with Cherny or Sterling, these things that they want to go and complain to somebody about it. So it's a lot of nonsense. I don't want to take on a lot of heat with these things. So
I know at Celtic Park, Gary, years ago, and you would get abuse for Peter Grant would obviously give Rangers fans abuse. The Canio done it. Van Hondonk was always at it. Scott Brown was always at it. I mean, and you were, but you accepted it because you're giving him abuse back. Do you know what I mean? We're shouting all different things, Frank McGarvey and stuff like that. We're shouting all different songs to him, derogatory stuff, and you hear a bit back, and you're like, fair enough, but you can't cry about it. But you're just sitting for 90 minutes or more giving players abuse. So as soon as anybody says anything back, don't moan and groan. Different if I'm going to give you a swift kick or a punch, whatever, that's totally different. But if it's a wee bit of abuse back, man up, whatever.
It's a lot of nonsense. So I suppose just to finish the game, so picking out some of the players that really stood out, I think that obviously Braskin get man of the match, outstanding performance. Suter, I think, deserves a lot of credit for his performance. He loves that type of game, that defending where it is. Barron, again, coming back, he's made a difference. I don't think there was, maybe me, there wasn't players that stood out massively. I thought it was a good team performance, but and there's very few to be particularly critical of.
No, I thought Nico Raskin was probably the best player yesterday, but I thought Van played well. Yeah. I thought Tav done really well as well. I just think the team played really well. The team had a game plan and they kind of stuck to it. Yeah, maybe for this 30 odd minutes in the second half, they had a bit more possession and they scored a couple of goals. But you all just expect that going there because we've been there before, we've 3-0 down at half time. Do you know what I mean? So it's nothing. It's something we always expect going there. So, but I thought yesterday for the first time in a wee while, the Spiny team was decent.
Yeah.
That one done. He'd won by kick, which probably led to their goal, but he made the saves. He came off for a couple of corners and got them. It was him punching it in his net. He was punching it away. I thought two centre backs. I thought Sterling was good with Suter. Tav was good. Ridvan, Raskin and Barron were really good. Del Monte in that position is improving. He's getting a lot better. He's getting to a point where he's affecting games and he's causing issues for teams. And if he can add goals to that, that'll help. And I thought Dessers worked hard, and Cherny's he's always going to be a threat, even if he's good or bad or indifferent, because people know he's got moments in his game and he's put a lot of effort in. And this is a guy who we fell in love with Seema because of what he done, but Cherny's
done far more than Seema done it before, isn't it? I don't think anybody
has, and for a guy who's on loan, you don't really get a lot of loan players coming and putting in the graft and the effort and the mentality he's had, especially when he first came. He's getting a bit of abuse at I think it's the Kiev game he got it, didn't he? A bit of abuse because of certain things he wasn't doing properly and stuff like that, or he wasn't, people said he wasn't trying.
The Leon game when he missed the chances.
Now, I don't know where the club go from. I don't know. It depends on who the sport, maybe get the director of football or sporting director and maybe a new manager. But if you've got money to spend, I would take a gamble. I know I've been kind of sitting in the fence, but I think I would, because you let him go back to Wolfsburg. Maybe I know what he coming off. He might say get an offer for someone else and take it. But if you let him go back there, it's going to cost his money to replace that what he's offered, because nobody in the squad we've got you can put in there. So it's going to cost his money to replace that anyway, what he's done this season.
I think we're not being critical of him. I just think Tierney's offered more over the course of the season. It's not that.
Seaman's probably a bit quicker, more direct, but I think overall Tierney's a better player.
Aye. It's not the same as a bad. You don't. It's not one doesn't even better than the other. It's just a.
Don't get me wrong. I would like to see both of them in the same team. Larry one Miller. I think that would be great.
I wouldn't knock that back. In terms of then, I suppose other points. That's probably covered most of the stuff around the game. I think there's obviously international duty for the next couple of weeks. A number of our players are away there. So Igamane, Raskin's going for potentially, hopefully gets his first cap. Suter's away for Scotland too. And I've seen some people saying he probably won't start. He will start because he was the man of the match for the last 3 games, if I remember rightly.
I was hoping he didn't go because I think he needs a rest. I was hoping he didn't go, but he's obviously away because it's nothing against Scotland or anything like that. I just prefer, because he has injury prone and stuff and he's been out for a while, I'd rather he stayed at home here, stayed at Ibrox and I stayed in his house and wherever he stays and just get a rest for 10 days before going back to training. That's just my selfish opinion, Gary. It's nothing to do against Scotland. I'd rather everywhere else can go because they don't really suffer full injuries and missing games, but Suter does, and that's my issue.
I suppose
Andy get called up as well, didn't he?
Was he the Ivory Coast? I can never remember. Was he the Ivory Coast? He was in. Dessers was in the original big squad in Nigeria, but didn't make the cut for the smaller one. So I can remember Hadji, Bayrami, Tierney. They're all away as well. I'm presuming McCausland, who wasn't even on the bench yesterday.
Baylor Rice went on 21s, didn't he?
There's a number. Not to pick him a negative for him, just because it crossed my mind he was top of the bench. So Danilo, obviously, he didn't go on during the week. He's probably not had much of a look in since Ferguson and McCann came in, or Ferguson and the rest of the management team came in. I suppose he needs to, might need to do more, but it does seem quite evident that yesterday's game, even then, he's not getting come on for 10 minutes or so when Tierney and Bears have both done so much.
Yeah, that's telling. I just think since the management teams came in, Dessers' game's upped a bit. He's scoring goals, but his work rates get better. Do you know what I mean? That was probably I was more critical of his work rate than it was his. Yeah, we can miss chances, we can score chances, but that was his work rate. When he didn't get the chances, he wasn't doing a lot. He was kind of huffing and puffing at times, seen it. But I think that's improved a lot, and it's good to see because when he does do that, he has a big help to the team. I also think, Igamane, you can't really leave out, can you? Because you see what he can offer. And even if he's coming off the bench, you can see what he can offer. Plus, he's got so much talent, you couldn't leave him out of the squad. Danilo just either going to have to be patient, or hopefully he's going to be hopefully when a new manager comes in, it might favour him. Depends. It's a big summer for Rangers. It's an important summer because we could finish this season a very high, a really, really good, a fantastic high, depending on the European run. But even if they get put out against Bilbao, it's been a great European run for getting into the quarters. And if they can finish the season a high domestically, it takes into the summer, but it's going to be a big summer because the takeover we all know is going to be done. And just because they've come in, we're not going to spend like millions and millions of pounds. That just doesn't happen straight away. But there will be some investment and there will be players leaving. So it's interesting to see who goes, interesting to see who comes in. But most importantly, they've got to get the sporting director right and the manager. I think that's the main thing. They do have to be spot on.
I mean, as you say, it's a big summer ahead. Now it's about just hopefully getting positive results for the last nine league games, and then and going as far as we can in Europe. I suppose
it's just been bad. I know we're sitting here praising the team, and rightly so because after yesterday. But when you look back, there's been a lot of games this season. Me and you have been at, and we're thinking, this is awful. Why are we here? And then the Queen's Park game is just an utter sickener. It was probably the worst game I've been at in 52 years. That's a good kick in the stones. And then you're getting stuff like European games. And I know Fenerbahce beat us, but the performance over there and going through over the 2 legs, that was the main object, going through over the 2 legs. And we done that. And then yesterday, so there's players there you can keep and build upon, but there's also guys here who you have to release to bring others in. You have to bring in better. And we have to be more, we need a better quality of squad. Because we've got probably a good starting 11, 12. But after that, when you have to replace players, sometimes we don't replace them with the same kind of quality. And I'm not blaming anybody, but players like Lawrence is getting older. Danilo's not really seen much action. McCausland's maybe not good enough. I mean, Cortez, we don't know what's going to happen with him. But if we can get a good squad of 16, 17 players with a manager, it can get us at the right place in a sporting director. And I think I'm not saying we're going to go next season and win everything, because that probably won't happen. But as long as we can start challenging, and even this time next season, we're sitting in a title race. That's what I'm looking for, Gary, because I've been too many seasons where we're sitting at this time, we're sitting at January, February time, and you think to yourself, this league's over.
Yeah.
And it's not even, I mean, so as long as we can keep the season going longer and be involved in competitions up to the end, and especially the league is the most important for me. And I like Europe, and we all do, but the league, we need to start showing we can challenge for it, and then eventually try and get it back, because that's your bread and butter at the end of the day. And I know it doesn't bring in as much money as European does, but winning that league gets you back in a kind of level footing, and you can say to yourself, right, you can start building in that. Building on success, that's the problem. Not enough success to build on.
Yeah. I'm just going to answer this question quickly from John. Would we take Caston Weirdo back? Probably not, because I think is that no, he's started a fourth knee injury.
I think that was a Clermont and Coppin, and I don't know if Coppin's still going to be here either. I think when the sporting director comes in, and I think these guys will probably have a name who they've probably spoken to. We don't know who it is, but they're probably going to spoke to one or two, and maybe got somebody in mind, and maybe offer somebody the position, and they're going to have their own ideas of who they want in to work in certain positions. I don't know if Coppin will be here. Rangers, to me, they pushed the thing they did. They gave him, they were too quick, really, promotion for him. I don't know why. I was like, you're just in the door, and then next minute, you're technical director, you're this, you're that. And I don't know, does he stay? But has he got a watertight contract? I don't know, but they maybe say you can concentrate on recruitment for the academy and whatever. I don't know what happens to him, but I think when these guys come in, they're going to have to bring in other people with them.
Aye, no, so John's a few comments about Casa and Weirdo. He was a good player, but I think for me, he's injured, too many injuries. Patterson potential of an option. I don't know where his contract is. Anyway, that's a story for another day. We'll come to those things as weeks go by. Remember, we're not going to be on Friday. We're going to take a night off.
National breaks. We're taking Friday off. We're back a week tonight. So everybody have a good week, and whatever you're doing, enjoy yourself and stay safe. And we'll see you all back next Monday. And you can finish at it.
No. The only thing I'll say is I believe Rangers women are in the Sky Sports final on Sunday. Against Hibs. So good luck to them on that. That's I'm sure that'll be on Sky Sports if you are wanting a Rangers fix at some point. National break is we will back next Monday. I'm sure there'll be lots of things happened over the next week or so, whether it be takeover, whether it be fallout from the Old Firm game, whether it be some other dramas that have happened. We will start to talk about next week. But as of now, this is us for this evening. We will see you next Monday. Enjoy your week, and thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye now.